Who can take a rainbow, cover it in jewels, package it right up and then throw it in a bin? The Candyman, the Candyman can. Who can take an elbow, fillet it to the bone, pull out all the tendons and turn it into a phone? The Candyman, the Candyman can. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be taking a look at the original Candyman. Yep, it's that absolute hood classic. I mean, most of the movie does take place in the hood, but that's not why it's a hood classic. It's just a hood classic, god damn it. Now, originally, when I first saw this movie being listed as things I needed to watch, absolute classics that I needed to dive right into as pussy, I thought that this was a Clive Barker joint, and it sort of is. See, Clive Barker wrote a book called, like, The Book of Blood or something. It's an anthology book of horror stories, and in that horror book stories thing is there a story called The Forbidden, and it's this movie. It's exactly this movie, but this movie was actually drafted from that story by a dude named Bernard Rose. Oh, Bernard, chill guy. He brought us this to the masses, and Clive Barker, anything he has his hands in, I tend to eventually get to, because I don't know what it is. Everything I've seen of Clive Barker's, I fell in love with, starting with Hellraiser. I mean, he wrote a book, it fucking clapped some cheeks, and then he was like, I'm gonna turn this book into a movie, and it's another certified hood classic. But I love Hellraiser. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I just love it. I played a little bit of both Jericho and I can't remember what the better game is called. I haven't really played much of that one. Eventually it will hit the channel. It'll hit the channel so hard, Daddy! But I decided to jump down and finally bite the bullet and watch the Candyman. I saw the remake came out a few years ago, and people told me it was fine. It was serviceable. But if I wanted to get the juiciness, if I wanted the juice real good, I had to jump in to the original OG Candyman. And this movie, wow. Oh, wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, West. It is great. It is freaking amazing. I had fun from start to finish. Now, there's something that these older movies are able to do that a lot of newer movies aren't able to do for some reason, and that's be able to weave in social issues and some of the idiot woke YouTubers would be like, oh, it's social messaging. But it had some social messaging in it, and it had some cultural issues that it touches on. But the thing that this does so much better, and what the woke idiots out there who complain about this shit, it's the problem, and I think this is the real problem, and it comes to the crux of the fucking issue with modern writing, is instead of stopping the entire fun of the movie to say, like, whoa, don't you get it? Ghettos are bad. Like, with the society, upper class, lower class, and putting people in the ghettos, and they can't afford to get to the upper class. But in reality, the upper class is just getting screwed because apartment complexes are the exact same. They're the exact same, but you pay twice as much because you're on this side of the river or this side of the bridge. It touches on those issues without stopping the fun of the movie. Now, there are, like, moments in it where it, like, hits it dead on. It flops its old willy-dilly out and drops it on your forehead, or it spreads those cheeks and slaps you on the cheeks. And it does have those moments where it kind of hits it all on the head, where she, like, the main character at one point, like, reports something and stuff gets done because she's like, maybe it's because I'm white. And there's stuff like that, but it never feels like it gets in the way. I don't ever feel like the movie's lecturing me, and I feel like that's a huge problem in modern film. I don't know if it's a problem in the modern Candyman movie, because like I said, I haven't seen it, but I do know in a lot of films I've had a lot of issues, and even in video games, where everything just stops the train. They got a nuke on the train and they can't hit it, or bye, whatever town gets nuked. So they slow the train down, they stop it, and somebody walks out in front of the nuke and they're like, did you know racism is bad? And here's 45 minutes of me telling you why. I recently watched a show called Grotesquerie, and the whole first 3 episodes are like murder, mystery, murder, mystery. And then it just stops and it's like, men are bad, everyone in the show's a piece of shit, but I tell you about how bad men were, and you're like, I don't fucking care, dude. It just feels real aimed and tilted, like somebody was mad when they wrote it. And when you watch something like Candyman, it feels like it was written with love and had this great idea, and it was also like, well, maybe we should touch on some of these social issues. Maybe we can go into the depths of what, like, makes these people, or like this idea of a thing where you go into the mirror and say it 4 times like Bloody Mary. You remember Bloody Mary? You'd be at like a pizza barn, and somebody would be on a pizza bar, Pizza Hut, and you'd be playing little games, bouncing like Mario or something, or not Mario, but one of them, playing a game on an arcade. Who cares what arcade game it is, really? But you have a friend, he's like, go in the bathroom and say Bloody Mary 3 times, and Bloody Mary will come carve out your butthole. So you do it, and then you run out, and you're like, oh, my butthole's still okay. And they're like, well, when we're staying over your house tonight, you're probably gonna die. Blood shooting out of your chest. You remember that time period? Well, it's off of that basis. And the main chick of the movie, her whole thing in the film is like, I am going to research what starts these type of rumors. How does this like breed into people's minds? And she kind of finds out that the person they fear, the Candyman himself, is this drug dealer, and he's kind of a douchebag. He knocks her over the head. Really bad scene in the movie, by the way. He just kind of goes, and she just fucking blood everywhere. It was kind of like when I was watching the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Every kill in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre looked like that, but this one was the only bad scene in the movie. I thought everything else was just beautifully shot in this film. It didn't feel like it ever showed its age too bad. Not to mention, you get to see the main chick's titties. That's pretty cool. I know you're probably like, that's misogynistic. Probably. I don't really care. I like boobs, and boobs are nice, and you get to see her boobs, and she's got nice ones. But she's like an actually interesting, really smart main character. Even when she's doing stuff like she needs to take pictures of a creepy area before she meets drug dealer Candyman. I'm gonna go take these pictures, and she goes inside, and her friend's kind of being a little bitch about it. But you're like with her, you want to go in there too. So it never feels like she's doing the stupid thing. It's just like it's this drive she has. It's just contagious, and I really love that in the film. It was one of the best things that just kept pushing forward. She was a very relatable protagonist and incredibly smart. She was somebody I was rooting for throughout the entire film from start to finish. Even when she kind of causes the whole community in this lower precinct, this more impoverished area, to kind of stop believing in the Candyman, because she tells this kid after they arrest the Candyman, the drug dealer guy, she's like, the Candyman was never real. His candy ass is going to jail. We were locking him up. And the real Candyman shows up and he's like, I am the Candyman. Shout out to this fucking actor, by the way. What an absolute G. This guy kills it. Old Tony Todd. I love this guy. This guy, every line he delivers, just sends chills down your spine. Ooh, so nice chills. I mean, every time he's on screen, he just steals the energy, the tension. Everything is just focused on him. He's so fucking amazing. And his hand with the hook is just so grotesque and awful with the nails. And he comes from this idea that he used to be a slave and then he got freed and then they killed him. Something like that. But because he like hooked up with a white chick who, Marissa Virginia or something like that. I can't remember her name. I threw it up on screen. You're fucking welcome. The chick, you get to see her nice boobies. But she was actually like the reincarnated version of the chick that hooked up with the Candyman in the past and got him killed by the white man. Bad white man, why are you killing the Candyman? Making him scare these children away. It's not very nice. But so the whole story just kind of, she starts getting terrorized by the Candyman, and anybody who like messes with her or is around her is getting murdered by the Candyman, resulting first in a dog, and then the baby gets kidnapped. So this dog gets murdered. She wakes up. She's covered in blood. Picks up a knife that sees the dog was killed. After she's been terrorized by the fucking Candyman, then they arrest her and they're like, "Hey, you're crazy." And then she goes and kills like another person. Another person gets all deaded, gets all murdered, and they're like, "I think you're actually just a crazy bitch. So we're gonna put you in a mental institution." And even in the mental institution, she escapes because the Candyman murders her psychiatrist. Candyman's just fucking murking everybody around her. And she's been in jail so long, and in this mental institution so long, that her husband, who's been cheating on her the whole time, let's be honest, he's got this big titty, like, co-ed that just wants to, like, big titty his penis. That doesn't make sense. But he's plowing her. He was plowing her from day one. He makes a joke about it at the beginning of the movie, and you're like, you're having some infidelity, sir. Not very nice. She shows up at the house, and realizes they're plowing each other's cheeks, and she's repainting the walls pink. What a stupid fucking color to paint the walls. And it all works. Everything in this movie, from start to finish, throughout this whole thing of the infidelity, she finds out that she needs to go save the baby from the Candyman, from a burning pile of sticks. Or not really from a burning pile of sticks. She goes into the Candyman's fortress of doom, or whatever the fuck it's called. It's like a homeless den, crack house. And she's like getting, and he's like about to fuck her. He's like, yeah, we were always meant to be together. And bees are crawling out of his mouth. The actor actually had the bees in his mouth. Wild. He got stung on his tongue like 47 times. Makes this movie even cooler. I fucking love this film. This is one of the best. This is one of the best films I've seen. I know this video is so chaotic and all over the place, but I can't contain my excitement for Candyman. This is such a good movie. It's so fucking good. Every single part of it is so much fun. I want to watch it over and over again. And it's stuff like this that I go back and watch some of these older movies that are classics, and then they hit like classics, because I hadn't seen Candyman until recently. I knew there was a remake, and I was like, I don't want to watch it because I hear the original is better. And I watched the original, it's better. It's like, even the part where she's crawling out of the fire and the bushel and the bullshit, and Candyman's trapped inside, and the whole community lights this pallet of this giant trash pile on fire because Candyman's in there. We're gonna fuck up that Candyman. And she's crawling out with the baby, and she's like burning up, and her skin's melting, and she comes out and she's on fire, but she saved the baby. And she dies. She fucking dies. And what's his face is still her husband, still pounding sweet cheek college bitch. And they have a funeral, and they're the only people at the funeral because everybody thought that she was a killer, except for that community. That community shows up. It's like all of the people in that low income community show the fuck up at her grave, and they're like, yeah, we know what really happened. We know that Candyman was fucking real. And he's sitting in the thing and he's saying her name, because after the funeral he goes home and he's all sad about it, because he's like, why did I hook up with this stupid college bitch that I have nothing in common with when I had the good tight pussy that was cool and my friend? Why am I so stupid? What happens to most guys who cheat on their wife with a really hot chick who has like that's younger, and then they're like, I have nothing in common with this bitch. She's talking about skibbity toilet and I want to do my taxes. But he's sitting there crying, saying her name, and then she shows up and kills him because she's like the new Candyman. It's so good. I was a little dumb. The ending was kind of dumb, but not like bad dumb. It was kind of like, get him, because she was all burnt, fleshy looking and scary. I love this movie. I could watch this movie fucking over and over again. It's hard to rant about this movie. I kind of thought maybe I'll just do like a whole thing. I'll do a whole thing. I'll talk about the whole story. And then my mind gets so distracted because of how excited I get. You know, when I talk about a movie I fucking hate, it's easy. I just doom. But Candyman's so good. It's so good. I want this movie to live on in the ages. I don't know if the remake's fucking worth it. Let me know in the comments. Is the remake worth it? I don't fucking know. I might watch it, I might not, but there's a place in my heart, man. There's a place in my heart for Candyman that this will always be one of my favorites. Now, is this like The Thing good? Maybe. I don't know. The Thing's pretty fucking good. I need to rewatch it. But Candyman was based. It was epic. It had all the Sigma skibbity, all of the Gen Z love. I guess. Sure. Bye.